What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? We are back here with Hard West. Had to think what the name of the game was. We're trying to attend this guy La Fortuna's poker tournament to help us get off this island that we've kind of been stranded on. But before we can do anything like that, we need to raise the $25,000 buy-in. Let's get going. The bustling town of Adelante was full of new buildings and prosperous people. The copious construction work in town was sponsored almost single-handedly by Mr. La Fortuna. For the denizens of the Western Territory, La Fortuna was the embodiment of prosperity and modernity. Well, yeah, well, what? Isn't La Fortuna, is that basically the fortune? Enter the cantina, the general store. Bravo Quest. Find the local brothel. Why would we want to do... I gotta see. When Cassandra told Hardin they should find the bordello, his eyes lit with an unsavory glow. She admonished him sternly, insisting this was strictly a business outing. Her head was already starting to ache. It was only a matter of time before it dulled the pain for hours or even days. They arrived at the brothel in time to witness a violent quarrel. An older, flamboyantly dressed woman beating an Indian prostitute with a billy club. Cassandra guessed the older woman was the bordello's madam. Hardin stared at the scene, frozen for a moment, agog. An instant later, Hardin rushed at the madam, landing a full-force punch in the middle of her face with a crunch. As she sprawled on the floor, dazed and screaming, Hardin rushed to the native woman, helping her up. She hugged him as she cried, covering him with kisses in a way that suggested they had more than a passing familiarity with one another. Hardin motioned Cassandra to get out of sight. She ducked into the nearest back street. Hardin and his native acquaintance joined Cassandra as soon as they could. She wasted no time reprimanding Hardin for attracting the attention of the entire town and doubtless the authorities. Hardin explained that he had no choice. It was his duty to defend Felicia. Apparently, they had known each other for some time. Cassandra guessed Hardin was one of her regulars. Felicia apologized for the trouble, but said that without her job, she had nowhere to go. Hardin suggested she could join Cassandra's posse, as she was a good shot in good company. The team would attract unwanted attention, but they said, go with it. Sure. Felicia thanked Cassandra profusely and promised to be a valuable asset to the team. Let's head to the cantina. Cassandra was pleasantly surprised to find the cantina appeared safe and well run. Cassandra's brushes with the law had been minor. She found only a small note about one of the events she had been involved in. Okay. We could get a room, but yeah. Let's leave. Not really much we can do there. Go to the gambling den. Pilgrimage. Let's see what this is. Cassandra and her companions came across a group of people camping out in the wild. They had numerous tents set up along with carts and horses. There were wooden crosses and ornate incense holders everywhere they looked. A man wearing priest's attire greeted them on behalf of his flock and said his name was K. Elspis. He exclaimed that he was leading these people on a pilgrimage, but that they were currently enjoying a much-needed rest. Remarked that the beaten path around the camp suggested they'd been camping there for some time. Elspis winced and admitted in a low voice that Cassandra was right. They weren't resting at all, actually. They were lost. His map had turned out to be inaccurate. He couldn't bring himself to dash the hopes of so many pilgrims by telling them they had to go back. Thus far, he had been able to convince everyone that they were still on the Kalaka Shrine Trail. While he secretly tried to figure out where it was, now he was losing hope of ever finding it. K. Elspis explained that Kalaka Shrine was a pre-Columbian ritual site said to contain carved figurines of human skulls adorned with Christian symbols, crosses, three-cornered symbols, and fish. According to Elspis, the existence of these symbols confirmed that Christianity was the world's sole true religion. Unfortunately, however, the map he'd bought from a merchant in Adelante had proven false. Now he would need to admit his failure and destroy the faith and resolve of his flock. Unless a treasure map were found, Cassandra finished for him. Elspeth nodded fervently. He promised to share his supplies with Cassandra if she found a map. He had heard that Garcia Pimentel family library might contain clues to the shrine's location. And, okay. The gambling den, we're still here at the... Alright, let's go over there then. Matron, that stuff was one of the last of the venerable Garcia Pimentel clan, which had flourished in the New World. For hundreds of years now, the family was a shadow of its former glory, but the Garcia Pimentel Library remained the greatest and most complete collection of works detailed the New World and the rise of Mexico. Jovially greeted Lydia as Cassandra had introduced herself and guessed she was here to see the fabled library. Also passed through. Yep, let's check out the books. The matron nodded and led them inside. There they were joined by a scrawny figure in clothes that had once been very fine, but were clearly showing their wear. Matron Garcia Pimentel said this was her son, Porfirio. Isn't that a disease? That's porphyria. Yeah. And that he would be their guide to the library. Cassandra curtsied, taking a closer look at the young man. On top of a hunched, scrawny body sat a large head with a bulging lump in the middle of his forehead. His skin was mottled and unnatural looking. He inclined his head slightly at all times. As they walked into the library, Porfirio, that's a really weird name, told Cassandra about various landmarks in the area, spouting an endless stream of historical facts, interrupted only by his slight stutter. Although at first he seemed consumed by his study of history, Cassandra soon realized his trembling hands, darting eyes, and blush meant something completely different. He was attempting to court her in another context that might have been endearing, but she was unsettled by the cold lump she felt in her stomach. Porfirio broke her reflections, asking whether there was anything in particular she would like to hear about. She specifically said the famous yet mysterious Kalaka Shrine. According to Porfirio, the Kalaka Shrine was the crown jewel of the area's historical attractions, believed to have been built long before the first Europeans set foot in the New World. It contained several painted skull sculptures called Kalakas that inexplicably bore ancient Christian symbols, fish, crosses, and various three-cornered ornaments. The shrine was considered by many the ultimate confirmation that Christianity was the world's one true religion. There had been a minor military struggle over who controlled it, with the winner doing their utmost to camouflage its position. When they met their downfall, however, its precise location was lost to history. At this last sentence, Porfirio's deformed lips twisted in what Cassandra interpreted as an approximation of a smile. She guessed aloud that he knew so much she was sure he knew the location. The young man looked away slyly. When Cassandra pressed, he nodded his deformed head in confirmation. He said he would tell Cassandra the location in exchange for a kiss. Revulsions, yeah, let's lie. Clearly not used to being treated this way, Porfirio blinked a couple of times. But then went to his desk and produced a detailed map of the area from one of its drawers. He then pointed out the exact location of the shrine to Cassandra. He copied the major landmarks to the piece of paper, which he gave her. Then he closed his eyes and presented his lips for a kiss. Okay, well, we could point the Derringer at him. But if we're trying to remain unnoticed by the police, or, the authorities, I have a very... As soon as her lips touched, he grabbed her head, forced his tongue into her mouth. Alright. Jerked his head back, bringing a kiss, and backhanded him to the floor. Yeah! Get him. He smiled a sheepish, contented smile at her, then motioned back to the hall where the rest of her companions were waiting. She was happy to get out of this place. Gotta give her some credit for smacking the crap out of him. Oh, great. He's affected by inebriation. Cassandra's heart sank when she reached the foyer to find Hardin unconscious on a shizela. Lady Garcia Pimentel explained that she had left the group alone with a bottle of brandy and returned to find him like this. She suggested that Cassandra and her friends stay the night and leave next morning. Let's see what the premonition says. Cassandra felt a great danger emanating from the Garcia Pimentel house that extended far beyond kissing disfigured men. In a blink, she had a vision of herself in a bridal gown that was slick with blood. She blinked and feeling passed, leaving a painful throbbing in its place. Let's get the hell out of there. So that sounds not good. I need more weapons, because all yeah, my group's kind of low on weapons here. So here we got Joker, Prayer, and a Jack. Courage. We need. Yeah, we'll give that to her. Prayer. Give her the pair, and honestly, I want him to have more movement. I think that was the better option. Sell the clock shrine or use it yourself. Let's sell it. We're good people. The pilgrims were just where Cassandra had originally found them. Kay Elspeth greeted her amiably. He asked whether she managed to find the map to the shrine, and asked bluntly how much she was willing to pay for the information. Elspeth called Cassandra a false prophet and a fraud, and accused her of trying to profit from artifacts of the one true God. By her expression, however, it was clear she had seen right through him. He instantly calmed down, admitting in a low voice that he had scammed the pilgrims into funding his expedition here. He offered $8,000 for the location of the shrine, and you've got it, my dude. Kay Elspeth handed her the agreed upon sum, why can I not read, and took the map in his hands, a genuine tear of gratitude in his eye. He walked away announcing the miracles to his followers. Ooh, actually, that's great. I think we said we got the Ten of Hearts golden bullet, so actually we'll give that to him and drop the. Now everybody has a pair. Oh wait, we also had the 9. We have transfusion, which we'll give to her because she doesn't have another. She only has that little pistol. Let's see what's up here, anyways. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the location of the fabled Kalaka Shrine. The place had been ravaged by a recent landslide. In the place of the entrance was a mess of crumbled rock and masonry. It would not be possible to visit the unique and mysterious place. Tried not to show the disappointment as they left the area. Okay. Well, I guess the only... Okay, we can go to the army fort over here. Or, let's go to the gambling den. Hardin led Cassandra to the Norris Outlaw Gambling Den. The venue was set up in a cliffside in an ancient Indian pueblo. There was no lights on the outside, but Hardin pointed out 2 guards concealed against the crumbled walls next to the narrow entrance with a thick black curtain. Inside, they found a wide repertoire of gambling tables and an assortment of colorful, dangerous-looking characters and an ample supply of liquor. High-stakes poker table. Cassandra, words. Substantial sum, cash to weaken the resolve. This year, a group of 4 men were sat at the table playing poker with a professional-like silence. Cassandra had a feeling they were practicing ahead of the La Fortuna soiree. Cassandra put on a heavy accent and introduced herself as Lydia Morozov. The 4 men were Noyan that guy, a weapons manufacturer, Dr. Fabian Fay, M.D., Silvestre Aleman, a sawmill owner, and Pedro Ramius, an oil broker. Cassandra asked to join. The men said she was welcome and she had something to gamble. Cassandra's contribution was accepted. With contented murmurs, they dealt her in. Let's see here. So struck up, I don't know, conversations with accidentally showing off her cards. Meanwhile, she keenly observed her adversaries, played the best of her abilities. Yeah, we need money. Predicting the game's outcome put a significant strain on Cassandra's mind, but left richer by 12,000 pesos. Join the dice game. Studying the game table, Cassandra felt weight of the dice in her hand. You really dice. Yeah, let's not play that unless we can, you know, we can cheat. Head to the cantina. Rest for a night. It was worth the 30 just to get that stuff back. Let's visit the general store, see what they have. I need guns, which they have they have a Navy gun. Ooh, I want it. I'll take the Navy gun. Hell, I'll take your double barrel, and do I want the revolver? Nah, I won't buy the revolver rifle. And trade, we're good. Items. And we'll give her the Navy gun and the Derringer. And give her the shotgun. So now everybody's got 2 weapons. Head to the army fort. The team arrived at a Mexican army stronghold in the Western Territory. The terrain was challenging and progress had been slow. They were grateful for the respite Hardin offered to buddy up to the grunts. He said he'd see what they knew about and maybe win some of their money. Nodded and said she would see she could learn from their commander. Yeah, let's go see the commander. Commander Alberto J. Barbola Borreco greeted Cassandra gallantly and offered refreshments. He excused his humble surroundings, explained that order was maintained in his region by the private militias of wealthy industrialists such as Ricardo La Fortuna. Consequently, the Mexican military had only a minor presence in the area. Unlike La Fortuna to blockade his competitors' assets. Looking for Joaquin Perez and asked whether the commander knew anything about him. The commander told Cassandra that Mr. La Fortuna was a benefactor of the United Mexican States. The government trusted him and gave him many liberties. He explained that the blockade Cassandra had referred to was only a training exercise for his merchant fleet, but put on in response to the rise of piracy in the Caribbean. There we go. See if she knows anything about Joaquin. The commander was familiar with Perez. He said Perez had stopped in briefly to resupply and had made vague mention of a failed arrest attempt. He was still in pursuit of the person who had eluded him, but had declined to give a description. So far, the commander had no news from him. Rumbling noises, jeering outside. He got up from his desk and looked through the window. Cassandra joined him. Hardin was quarreling with a soldier. The commander excused himself, leaving Cassandra alone in the room. Search the desk. Found a small key and used it to unlock the commander's drawers, along with a collection of letters, a standard issue gun, and some ammunition. She found one truly interesting item, an army requisition form. It would almost certainly prove useful in the future. No one would miss it here. Steal the form. Cassandra could hear the commander's steps in the corridor. She hastily closed everything and leapt back into her seat. The commander walked in, visibly upset. He explained Hardin had gotten into trouble playing dice, but that he would overlook it as his soldiers shouldn't have engaged in gambling in the first place. Still, he said Cassandra and her crew should leave immediately and not return. Alright, Hardin bruised countenance told the tale of his gambling adventure. Sweet, we made some money at least. With the soldiers, as they left, he told her he had won some money, but more importantly, he'd acquired a pair of loaded dice. In Cassandra's skilled hands, any dice game would now be less of a gamble. Lucky charm. Well, might as well give it to Cassandra. Okay, so we could go here and gamble, because that's about all we can do now, because we can't really go anywhere else. Let's actually take a look here. Okay, danger sense, all that. He has -5 to his aim and -2 to movement, but still, he's for the most part fine. I think that's all the injuries. Let's head back to the gambling den. Cassandra was hearing with a drunken prospector and eavesdropped on his story. Let's join the dice game. Decided to replace the dice with her gimmicked pair. Cassandra gave a discreet nod to Hardin, who loudly attracted the attention of the players sitting at another table. While all the players had their heads turned, with swift movement, Cassandra replaced the dice in her hand. With the loaded pair, she easily won the round, earning 364 pesos. Yeah, let's find out about this guy's, this prospector. The prospector claimed to own a map to the wreck of an old Spanish treasure ship. Hardin dismissed it as bragging, but Cassandra was interested. See what his future holds. Her initial attempts were inconclusive. Cassandra felt she was already losing her lucky streak. Cassandra saw the men suffered violent death. It thoroughly distressed her, but she obtained no useful information. As the searing pain pierced her brain, she saw the prospector lying dead in an old shipwreck, surrounded by piles of gold. As the vision faded, she managed to recognize a landmark that pinpointed 3 possible locations for the wreck. She came back to reality and nearly collapsed from exhaustion. Sweet, let's head here and sleep, restore our luck for the cognition and leave. Upon leaving Adelante, Cassandra had an unnerving but all too familiar feeling, a powerful premonition that made her head ache for days on end. Alright, let's see it. Her skull blazed with pain as the vision took shape. Cassandra saw a stagecoach loaded with expensive luggage against a gorgeous mountain backdrop. Suddenly, a vulture's cry split the air as she looked up and saw several haggard birds circling overhead. As her premonition faded, she looked around for landmarks. She was positive she could pinpoint the location of the vulture's feast. Okay, so we can go to the stagecoach, which actually we will do that right now. Following Cassandra's directions, the party soon arrived at the location. A stagecoach crash. The putrid smell of decay indicated the accident took place several days ago. A flock of vultures feasted on the well-heeled passengers. One of the birds looked up from its feast, fixing the company with a rheumy gaze before slowly flapping skyward. Hardin began rummaging through the pockets of the dead, whistling casually as though he were picking daisies. Cassandra, finding nothing of interest, was beginning to regret coming when she spied a thin leather suitcase sitting in the dust. Silver mine deed and liquor. Sweet. Opening the case, she discovered a document written in dark blue ink on thick paper, adorned with official stamps and seals. It appeared to be the deed to a silver mine somewhere in the Rockies. Cassandra pocketed it, while her companions rummaged through the rest of the spoils. Alright, so let's head to these shipwrecks. The ancient wreck of a Spanish galleon sat in a small cove and looked harmless enough. The name on the bow read Amia Calvo. The air smelled of dried seaweed and mold. Motioned to her companions to follow her inside. Descending into the cargo hold, the team found crates filled with valuables and expensive materials. Much of the treasure had decayed with time. However, a good portion of the silver and gold objects could be salvaged. With a significant amount of work, Cassandra decided they needed the money. As salvage continued, Hardin became wary. He told Cassandra that the longer they stayed there, the better chances someone would arrive, perhaps to lay in wait and attack them once they had received all the treasure. He suggested retreating with what they had now, rather than hope they could get away with everything. Yeah, I agree with him. Cassandra and her companions abandoned the scene, leaving the rest of the loot for others to plunder. What they recovered was only worth a couple thousand pesos, but it was a couple thousand pesos closer to their goal.
Now that Cassandra had the necessary 25,000 pesos, she was ready to conquer La Fortuna's grand tournament.
There we go. Alright, so we have Remy Borgen rifle, which honestly we don't really need to make use of. You have her dried meat, might as well. Same with her. And go into the card screen, and we have the Jack of Diamonds with Shadow Salve, which... Ooh, and we also have Vengeance. I love that card. Let's give him a three pair. Let's give her... Might as well give her the 3 pair as well. At the reception hall. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the building where the poker soiree was to be held. The imposing building was made entirely out of a cast iron and glass, and a feat unparalleled in Mexico. They had some time to kill before the game started. Cassandra wandered the floor and sized up other players while she was waiting for the tournament to begin. The room was filled with players from all corners of the land. Tense with anticipation of the conflict to come. Finally, the cashier booth opened and players began to fork over the cash necessary to register. There was still time for Cassandra to mingle with the guests. Wait and we're already at full luck, so let's see what we can find out. The soiree was first and foremost a social pageant where the rich and famous could show their opulence to their peers and rub their success in the face of their competitors. Though everyone appeared friendly on the surface, the competitive tension in the hall was palpable. Let's listen to this. I knew what to look for. Corpulent, sweaty man in a tall hat was arguing with his wife. She said he would again lose their fortune. All the while he assured her that he had been working on his gambling skills. This seemed to enrage her further, and she launched into a tally of his various tells. while he denied all. Okay, now we know what we're looking for. Cassandra caught a glimpse of a middle-aged gentleman gazing at her with a cryptic smile. She returned the man's gaze and smiled back. A few minutes later, the man approached her, presenting himself as Jim Vaughn. He commented her on her, I'm going to go with that's supposed to be complimented her on her competitive attitude, alluding to her underhanded activities in the reception room. Seeing her frown, he laughed and assured her he would not expose her. He said Cassandra reminded him of his younger self. He was looking forward to testing his skill against her in the upcoming game. Cassandra thanked him and expression of genuine camaraderie. Cassandra has just submitted her 25,000 pesos when a slender Hispanic man in an impeccable tailcoat and top hat approached her with a grin. Cassandra guessed this must be Ricardo La Fortuna. As if reading her mind, he bowed and placed a gallant kiss on her gloved hand. La Fortuna presented himself and asked for Cassandra's name. She treated him to her Russian alias, Lydia Morozov. La Fortuna bowed lower still and wished Lydia good luck in the upcoming game, curtsied before proceeding to the gambling table. The first round of the game had 20 contestants divided among 4 tables. Among them was Jim Vaughn. Cassandra also saw she'd been seated with the corpulent man, whom she has seen arguing with his wife. She was seated, and the rules were explained. The 2 winners from each table would meet for the second round, which would determine the grand champion of the gala and the owner of a rare piece of jewelry, being staked by Mr. La Fortuna himself. Chips were distributed, the cards were dealt, and the game started. Initially, the game was casual and easy. Cassandra singled out 2 candidates for elimination, deftly defeated them using her acute gambling skills. She was left with 2 adversaries. She knew one of their tells, having overheard his argument with his wife. Read the man like an open book. Soon he had been dispatched to his hectoring spouse. Cassandra was left with her final adversary for this round of the game. She played looking for an opening until her adversary made an unexpected move, significantly raising the ante. He was either bluffing or had a great hand. The flash of a splitting headache was sweetened by the realization Cassandra would win the hand. She raised her adversary with confidence and grabbed the whole pot. The croupier, congratulated Cassandra and told her he would transfer the chips to the main table for the final round. There was an hour break between rounds 1 and 2. The tournament was in full swing. The losing tears were dried by cheerful senoritas and gallons of alcohol, while the winners gloated, prayed, and luxuriated in the lobby. Cassandra looked around, sizing up her competition. Retreated towards room, intrigued. Cassandra followed him. Once the break was over, proceeded to the table. Okay, so we could rest and pick, get our luck back. But honestly, let's keep trying to put things in our favor. As they left the party, the atmosphere, the gambler accelerated his pace, crossing the steel and glass corridors of the place with an unusual haste. Then, when he entered the hotel wing, he disappeared. Cassandra looked helplessly around the halls of the hotel. There were 2 rows of identical doors, one on each wall of the hall. One she noticed had light shifting from underneath. As she approached it, she saw that it had been left slightly ajar. She peered through the opening, and to her surprise saw the man injecting himself something from a syringe, morphine. The gambler lay on the bed, oblivious to everything around him. He was in full rapture of a morphine shot. It's just, yep. Cassandra hesitated, wondering if her lack of experience administering drugs might spell this man's demise. I've come this far, she thought, emptying the syringe. He certainly didn't protest. Rather, he closed his eyes and fell asleep with a blissful smile on his lips. Cassandra left a gentle kiss on his sweaty forehead and left the room. Turning onto another of the palace's corridors, Cassandra was confronted by a tall man standing in her way. His gun trained at her heart. Cassandra knew it in an instant. It was Joaquin Perez, her pursuer, her tormentor, her personal agent of fate. Perez called her a traitorous witch and exclaimed that he dearly wished to see her hang by her worthless neck. Still, he said, stalling any longer would put his holy mission in jeopardy. Cassandra said she never asked for her gift, if that was what Perez thought made her a witch. We are all born who we are. She continued and impugning anyone for being true to his or herself did as much good as pissing in the wind. Perez laughed. Cassandra's crimes clearly showed her soul was evil, corrupted by Satan. Says the guy who was hanging out with, I believe, the agent of, once again, Satan. Perez laughed. Cassandra's crimes clearly showed her soul was evil, corrupted by Satan. A virtuous woman would not go around cheating people, telling lies, stealing property, and butchering the innocent. The Inquisitor had seen through her deceptions and justly ordered she be punished for her wicked deeds. Cassandra replied that either the Inquisitor was as guilty as she was, or she was a saint. Perez blinked with surprise. It seemed Cassandra's words had unexpectedly rung true. Then he convulsed involuntarily, shredding sparks and white cracks of lightning before falling to the ground unconscious. What? A trio of neatly clad gentlemen led by Andrew Hardin emerged from the shadows. One of them was holding some sort of electric device that was emitting a waft of smoke. Hardin said that they were the Protector's men. They had been hunting for Perez ever since the fiasco on Isla, that place. The men tipped their hats to Cassandra, then carried away the limp body. Hardin escorted Cassandra back to the game. Cassandra returned to enjoy the evening, all the while looking around carefully. Once the break was over, Cassandra proceeded to the table. The players sat down for the final round of La Fortuna's poker tournament. Along with Cassandra, 3 other men were still in the competition. One defaulted when he failed to arrive at the designated hour. Cassandra recognized Jim Vaughn from their conversation earlier in the lobby. The last man remained a mystery. Names were exchanged, cards were dealt, the game began. See here, the stakes in the final game were much higher, and so was the skill of the participants. But as the game progressed, Cassandra's chip supply diminished until she was on the brink of bankruptcy. She needed a decisive move to improve her situation. She could target Dr. Fabian Fay, whose stash was the smallest, or Jim Vaughn, who had been doing extremely well this far, and at this point, his skill seemed unmatched. Let's go after the big man. Jim Vaughn was a true master of the gambling table, smart, funny, and courteous. He was impenetrable to conventional scrutiny. If Cassandra wanted to defeat him, she would need to use her unique ability. Was too tired to be able to count on clairvoyance. Jim Vaughn played like a true ace, seeing through Cassandra's bluffs, reading a reaction in near divine brilliance, and never making a betting mistake. When he took her last chip, she expressed her admiration, and he replied with a string of compliments. He promised they would talk after the game. Cassandra returned to the lobby to observe the rest of the game. The tournament had finished, and though Cassandra did not win, Ricardo La Fortuna congratulated on an excellent game, and the two chatted for a while. Though La Fortuna had other business to attend, he invited Cassandra to visit him at his residence whenever she liked, promised she would come, then departed into the crowd. As Cassandra made to leave, Jim Vaughn approached her and offered to buy her a glass of port. Sure, let's see what this guy's getting at. Mr. Vaughn was visibly delighted. He ordered drinks as he told Cassandra about his younger years. With a refreshing bluntness, Vaughn had run away from home at a young age and wandered the West, finding no shortage of trouble and becoming an infamous gambler and duelist. One fateful day, however, he played against a powerful man, taking a fortune from him. The man was furious, telling Vaughn to leave the country and renounce gambling on pain of death. That's when Vaughn headed to Mexico. He had been miserable ever since, but when he'd heard about the tournament, he decided he didn't care anymore. It was worth the risk to play again. What else was life for? Asked what all that had to do with her. He looked at her wistfully. He told her that he saw his younger self in Cassandra. She had inspired him to take his guns off the hook and go looking for trouble again. If there was one person he would love to ride with, it was her. Does anybody else hear a joke there? Wishing to keep the numbers low, Cassandra asked Paco to stay behind. Yeah, let's tell Felicia to go away. Because mammoth rifle. Ooh. We'll actually give you do I want to give him a 6-shooter? You know what? Screw it. Let's give him a shotgun. Let's make him extra deadly. Got a stun bomb. Let's give him some dried meat. Open cards. Let's see here. And give him the jacks and the joker. And we'll give Paco... Oops. Paco that king because, why not? Okay. Visit Ricardo La Fortuna in his residence. Wait a minute. Don't we now have the treasure or whatever because we have this guy in our posse? Cassandra strolled over to Mr. La Fortuna's home. In contrast with the reception hall, the hacienda was quite modest. Cassandra and her companions were greeted politely by Mr. La Fortuna, who offered refreshments and small presents as a token of his appreciation. He and Cassandra had an amicable chat discussing politics, art, and fashion, as well as Mr. La Fortuna's various undertakings. Cassandra was curious about his competition with the Protector. La Fortuna expression became cautious as he explained that his relationship with the Protector had deteriorated over the past few months. He had finally resolved to help the Mexican Navy chase the undesirable man from the country. Cassandra suggested she could help if La Fortuna was interested. He asked what she had in mind. Cassandra said she had a talent for eliminating inconvenient characters from the earth. Lying brazenly, she revealed that she was a successful contract assassin with many hits on her resume. If Mr. La Fortuna was taken aback by the news, he did not show it. He merely smiled and responded that Cassandra's help wouldn't be required. He had a train loaded with mercenaries that was heading towards the coast at the very moment. They would seize the island within hours. Cassandra nodded and wished him a swift victory.
His mercenary force had to be prevented from reaching the bay. Hardin suggested they blow up the train. Cassandra concurred. They just needed to procure the explosives.
Alright, I really hope there's not anything like messed up going on because all this lag that's on the coal mine operated day and night with the constant excavation. Dynamite was in frequent use and ample supply. Hardin suggested he steal some. Cassandra felt she might be able to persuade the miners to give her some. Cassandra decided to try and convince the foreman to give her some dynamite. Cassandra approached the foreman and pretended to be an inspection officer sent by the mining company. She would need to inspect a sample of their dynamite. The foreman was suspicious and demanded proof. Showed him her army requisition form, used all her charisma. She would return with the papers the foreman required. When she rejoined her crew, she told Hardin to steal dynamite. Show the requisition form. The foreman pored over the document suspiciously. Finally, he nodded his head and handed over the specified amount of explosives. Cassandra was triumphant. Set an ambush. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the ambush site. Let's go. See here, the charge would be just enough to derail the train without causing further damage. There was still some time left. Planting more dynamite would cause more damage, but might destroy any valuables carried on the train. Fortifying the area would give them an advantage, but would cut off some escape routes. Let's fortify. The train yard had been fortified. It gave the party better positions and more cover. What the fuck? Suddenly, they heard the train's whistle from beyond the bend.
Survivors crawled from the ruins of the train wreck. The team readied their weapons with killing intent.
Man, again, I'm really, really hoping that there's not going to be like massive problems with this recording. All right, you know what, guys? Give me a second. I'm gonna close out and then reload and see if it fixes this problem. All right, it's better. I now know why. Holy crap! I hit that. All right. What to do? I think I figured out what the problem was. I was getting a notification or something was popping up, so it was just killing my... I don't know. It was just... It was making it so it wouldn't... I don't know. It was slowing everything down. Words are hard. Goodbye. Let's end the turn and see what he does. Jeez, yeah, it's still kind of fucked up. I don't know what the hell... I don't know. Hopefully everything still runs fine. Oh, wow, we got jinxed. Interesting. Jeez, what's with all these dudes having 8 health? Oh, wait, no, they're jinxed. Never mind. Alright, my turn. There we go. We fan the hammer. We can get some pretty good damage in. There we go. Get to kill the mercenary. Somehow that missed, and I'm kind of PO'd about that. 6 damage. I get a scoped shot and guarantee the kill. Damn it, I thought I told him to shoot somebody that didn't have 2 health. The hell was that? Poor Paco. Might as well take him out. Shoot him with sawed-off Cobra. Bam! And down he goes. Why is it that my 6-shooter has a better chance to hit than the other gun? Just grab a reload. And better chance to hit. Doesn't do as much damage, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Oh, we almost got flanked. Alright, well, actually, we are flanked, but you know what I mean. And Paco's almost dead. And he's now got a mangled foot. Ah, crap, I forgot I can't do... I forgot I can't, yep. I moved and then I shot. I didn't just shoot. 100% to kill. Bam. You flippin' kidding me? Really, Cone won't hit them both? Okay. Apparently that doesn't work with... I don't know what I'm missing here. I don't know why that didn't work. And Paco's dead. Oh, like I said, I don't know how the hell that works then. Apparently cone shot doesn't work when we're on different levels. Well, fine, let's just get this guy inside and hunker down. That's fine. Just trying to pull him out of cover. Miss and hit. Fire at him. Get the kill. 2 left. And dead. 1 left. I don't know where this guy's coming at us from. Kind of checking down this hallway to see if he's coming up the stairs. Sorry, I'm popping my knuckles. It's just really uncomfortable if I don't do it. Start moving hard and through, try and get a flank. Keep him right near her. Reload, make sure the shotgun is nice and loaded. Thought you'd be coming up the side like that. Haha. What? Gotcha.
Cassandra looked relieved when the last mercenary was finally dismissed.
Alright, what all do we have now? Bum. Yeah, can we get that lady that we told to go away? Can we get her back? Let's check our cards. Alright, so we have the Jack of Hearts with Shadow Kill. We have the 9 of Hearts with Cannibal. Give her the 2 pair. We give him a... Actually, that's a 4 of Kind. Now we also have Chain Kill that we can give to somebody. And we can also... we can give him a Full House. And just give her a 5th card. Cassandra returned to Ricardo La Fortuna's, who was visibly upset. He told Cassandra that his mercenaries had been victims of a vicious railway sabotage and that he would like to reconsider her proposal. As the words left his mouth, he stared for a moment at Cassandra as if suddenly wondering if this woman could be behind the train incident. Then he seemingly shook it off. A woman could never perpetrate something as dastardly as this. Cassandra accepted. La Fortuna explained how to get to the harbor. From there, his boat would take her and her companions to the island. He promised a significant reward if she dealt with his competitor successfully, including 1,000 pesos in advance for Cassandra to replenish her equipment and supplies. Thanked him for the opportunity, and let's get the hell out of here. Alright, we head to the harbor. Really, do we need anything? Actually, I think well... Let's head to the Fate Trader. Let's see if we can get some good guns. Interested in his wares. All right. Let's see here. So we got the bone hand rifle, the Judicator, the one-armed bandit. I love that gun. The Judge. Let's take the Judicator. Do I want the Judicator? I definitely want the Judge. Weird monocle. Plus 10 aim, plus 12 sight. I'll take that. Baby number 9. It does pretty good damage. Yeah. I'll take it. Honestly, I think the Navy guns actually... Well, aim 10. Let's sell some of the stuff that we don't need. Don't know why I said I didn't want to sell both of those. Might as well just sell both these 6-shooters. And pay the rest with cash and trade. Items. Alright. Jim Vaughn will ditch his rifle and give him the Judge. And also give him baby number 9. And other than that, the Judicator. 4 damage, 1 heat. Why the Ring Protector? Actually, I like the Derringer that I had. Well, then honestly, I'll just give her 2 pistols. Make her fairly dangerous. Well, I guess it's kind of like the Derringer, in all honesty. God, I'm just not sure why I picked up the... I guess I didn't need the Judicator. Oh, I also wanted to give him the weird monocle. Alright, let's go. Let's see here. Cassandra and her companions arrived at La Fortuna's commercial harbor. La Fortuna's letter would guarantee them safe passage to the Protector's base of operations, Isla Chrysalida. Presenting their letter to the captain. The captain greeted Cassandra politely. He read her letter, then commandeered a small steamboat to take her and her crew to the Protector's island. They departed immediately. During the sea voyage, Cassandra felt feeble and anxious, a feeling she attributed to the excitement of meeting the Protector. Finally, she could be rid of her curse of clairvoyance. Still, she was uneasy. She chased away these thoughts and did her best to enjoy the trip. And Hardin left the party. Wonderful! As soon as they stepped off the boat, Cassandra realized she should have trusted her uneasy feeling. They were immediately apprehended by thugs. When the Protector arrived, he appraised Cassandra like a caged animal. Then he made a show of presenting a bag full of gold pieces to Hardin. Cassandra never seen him so smug before, and he immediately departed for his return voyage. Then the Protector had Cassandra and her companions locked up in the brig, promising to deal with each of them individually. Okay, let's see here. Well, basically now, let's just see what we have on the cards. Come on. There we go. I was gonna be really pissed off if it just crashed. All right, let's see here. Let's ditch Cannibal and Transfusion. I'm not a big fan of those cards, in all honesty. We can also ditch Beast Hearing, and we'll take Vengeance, Golden Bullet, and Ricochet. Yeah. As much as I'd love to give Ricochet to this guy, I think it's better. I think it's better on Cassandra, just so we get the movement and luck.
Hardin and the Protector both proved to be traitors. The latter wanted to experiment on Cassandra to see what made her tick.
Alright, break out of your cell. What?
The lock on her cell door was easily picked with a hairpin, but the guards were on high alert. If they saw her loose, they would shoot to kill. Cassandra's companions were here as well. She could free them.
Is that Paco? I thought he died. Yeah, we can get up on the roof for some reason. Just walk up behind him and...
Joaquin Perez was also held prisoner by the Protector. He promised to help her if Cassandra let him go. She wasn't sure she could trust him.
Okay, so I need to get the key. Oh, let's kill the protector. Okay, I was like, why is the key that far away? Did I pick the... Oh, I picked the wrong way to do this. Yeah, because I should have gone up on the roof. Yeah, we are, we're doing this. Game on. I really did not have a better option. Oh, of course, that door's locked too. Wonderful. I should have been smarter. Okay, get to the other side of this door.
Cassandra couldn't help but notice all the Protector's sophisticated machinery. Cassandra could now free her companions.
Trying to think the way I want to do this. Gotcha. Can I not shoot? Apparently I can't shoot. Odd. Oh, because I was hitting shoot, not ricochet. I was hitting the wrong button. Oh, crap, I can't see him. Just kind of wait and see what he... Fine. Howdy. Oh, thank God. I could have done this a lot better. Oh, I also could have climbed up and gone through that door, now that I see it. Screw it, I need the help. I love how they have their guns in a prison cell. Alright, we're out. Okay, he's got a cannon, calavera, and a musket. Sweet. Alright, let's do battle. I love that expression. I have no clue why. This is really fun to say. All right, I think we've got the inside of the building. As far as I can tell, there aren't any more guards in here. Oh. F. Haha, you missed, sucker. Oh, now I'm dead. Somehow I'm still alive. Alright, first things first, grab cover, switch over to your good gun, shoot the guy with 5 health. And now, if you would do the honors, Mr. Vaughn, kill him with your awesome shotgun. Hello. 9 damage shotgun. I think he's not... I don't think he even exists anymore after getting hit with something like that. I think he's just like paste. Alright, looks like we're going out the back. Alright, we'll lead with Joaquin. And kind of barrel through this. Yeah, we'll go through this way. Grab a reload. I'm not seeing any guys. Reload real quick with the shotgun. Charge in. Alright, this building looks empty. As I run past these windows, really praying to God there's nobody inside them. I always feel like I'm playing too conservatively. Because the times that I don't, there's going to be shitloads of enemies, but the times that I, do, there's no one. Okay, I see him. Oh, well, we can't. Oh, crap. Let's off that. We'll hold off on for a second. Trying to find a place that I can get Mr. Perez to shoot that guy, which I'm also not seeing. Oh, of course, he only can shoot that guy. Might as well. And he's dead. I have no shot. Ah. I'd rather not use it. Oh, 50%. Oh, yeah! Channeling my my inner macho man with that one. I'm really surprised with how easy it's been to get to this building. Somebody opened a door. Hello, everybody.
The Protector claimed he
Yeah.
was the only one who could lift Cassandra's curse. If she killed him, she would lose the opportunity. She told him she would take her chances. The Protector was gone, and so was his knowledge of how to use that machine. But Cassandra wasn't ready to give up that easily. She had the Protector's notes and documents, and all the time in the world. Several days later, Cassandra decided she was ready. Nightmares flooded her consciousnness. Exhaustion took its toll.
That's why this was easy. Fantastic. I also love how if it's been like all these days, we didn't, reload our guns in that amount of time. Anyone else think that's odd? Like, I'm getting ready to fight shit. Come on. Okay, apparently there are no demon enemies. Ah, there we go.
The room contained not only machinery, but also the Protector's failed human experiments.
Oh, F. Hey there, buddy. I'd shot you.
Cassandra flipped the last lever and closed her eyes in anticipation. A short but excruciating moment later, her curse was lifted. She was finally free.
Yeah! Alright guys, well that is the end of all the main scenarios to this game, if this will load and not crash my computer. That's the end of A Matter of Time and all of this. We have one more scenario that we'll be doing, and that is the Scars of Freedom expansion. I have no clue what it is, but we'll get into it and have some fun. And yeah, as always, thanks so much for watching. Facebook, Twitter, the website, Minds.com. Links to all that stuff can be found down in the description below. Like, comment, and not already, please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more next time, but until then, my name's AJ Gels. This is the Updog Gaming Channel. I'm out.